Good morning, children. It's good to be back after a break, and I'm glad to teach you all again. Let's begin with the first lesson of the second term, in fact, your second unit. That's lesson 3.1, The Plate of Gold, on page 57. Now, this poem is written by James Henry Leigh Hunt, and it's a narrative poem which and a free verse. A narrative poem means a poem which tells you a story. It's something like your prose, your stories that you'll hear all the time. Only thing it's not written in paragraph form, it's written in the form of a poem. Okay, so it's telling you a story in the form of a poem. Now, about this poem. This poem is about a plate of gold which falls in a temple court. And the priests and everyone, all the authorities are wondering who this plate is meant for, whom to give this gift which has fallen from heaven. And the ending is quite surprising because it just shows how God judges differently. The humans who get this plate judge the people in a different manner, and God judges the people in his own manner. So you will whom we think really think worthy of this gift is not worthy in the eyes of God. Okay? So we judge with material things. Yes, who has a lot of money, who gives a lot of money. We judge in that way. Whereas God, the judges, doesn't judge in that way. God's judgment is of a different kind. So let's read the poem. I hope you'll have your pencils with you all because you all should will have to mark your figures of speech and the meanings. Okay. One day they fell in great Banaras temple court, a wondrous plate of gold, whereon these words were writ. Now, writ is short form for written, whereon means on which these words were written. Oh, so where was this temple? In Banaras. Okay. To him who loveth best, a gift from heaven. Loveth is olden word, archaic word, Archiac. Archaic word means loves, Loves. Okay. There at okay, I forgot your figures of speech. Okay. So if you see the second line, whereon these words were writ, the letter W is repeated. So alliteration, letter W is repeated for poetic effect. So alliteration. Okay, we move on to the next. Thereat, the priest means as soon as they found the plate, this is what the priest decided. The priest made proclamation, means made an announcement for everyone, made a public announcement at the midday hour. Midday hour means afternoon. In the at 12 o'clock afternoon. Each day let those assemble who for virtue deem their rights to heaven's gift the best. So deem means they think that they are the perfect of one who is worthy of the gift from heaven. Okay, so all those who think that they are the ones worthy of the gift from heaven should assemble at 12 o'clock every day. And we will hear the deeds of mercy done and so adjust. The last line, you see letter D is repeated, so alliteration. Letter D is repeated, so alliteration. Okay, a judge means make a judgment. Make a judgment. They will consider everything, whatever the person has to say, maybe how much he has donated, how good he has been, how he loves God, and all the things. And then they will make a judgment. Okay, look at the first line of the stanza. Letter P is repeated. So again alliteration. Second line, letter D is repeated. Here in day and deem. So again alliteration. Moving on to the next. The news ran swift as light. Here it is simile because a direct comparison is made between news and light. That is, you're talking of the speed, okay? The speed of the news spreading and the speed of light moving. That's compared. So a direct comparison is made between news and light. And soon from every quarter came, quarter means every corner of the land, nobles and munshis, hermits, scholars, holy men. So here it is antithesis, antithesis, and also alliteration because the letter H is repeated. I hope you are marking. Okay. And all renowned, renowned means well known, famous, for gracious or for splendid deeds. Gracious means that they have done something good, or splendid means something great. Meanwhile, the priests in solemn council sat and heard. Solemn means serious meeting. Council means like a meeting, okay? So they had a serious meeting, a get together where uh, gathering where all the heads sat, the people in charge sat, and they listened to everyone what they had to say. Where was I? With each what each had done to merit best the gift of heaven. So for a year the claimants came and went. Antitheses because opposite words came and went. Opposite words came and went. Also alliteration because the letter C is repeated. Claimants means those who made a claim. Okay, the third line in nobles and munshis, hermits, scholars is not antithesis. When I just realized when I said this it's anticlimax. Okay, it's anticlimax, not antithesis. Means the most important is the nobles. Then you have the munshis who work for them. Then you will have hermits and scholars, and then holy men. Okay, now we move on to the fourth line. Meanwhile, the priest in solemn council sat. Again, letter S is repeated, so alliteration. Okay, next stanza. At last, after a patient weighing of the worth of all, now here weighing, you're not talking of putting on the scale and weighing, you're the comparing, making the comparison. Okay, the priest bestowed the plate of gold on one who seemed the largest lover of the race. Bestowed means gave it to, okay, presented it to, whose whole estate within the year had been parted among the poor. Parted means distributed or given to, donated. Okay, so here the whole his all estate here includes not just the land but every physical thing, maybe like your furniture, your clothes, your everything. Okay, material, all the material things and the land, maybe his house, everything. Okay, if you see this line, the letter P is repeated. So for poetic effect, so alliteration. The line above it, letter L is repeated. So again alliteration. The line above it, priest and plate. Letter P is repeated, so alliteration. So three lines have alliteration. The third line has P repeated, fourth line L repeated, and fifth line P repeated again. Okay. This man, all trembling with his joy, advanced to take the golden plate when, lo, at his finger's first touch, it changed to basis lead. Now, why basis lead? Basis means just simple, worthless. It doesn't have much value as you compare to gold, what it really was. Yes, just a simple lead means like the lead, the point in your pencil. So, Are you going to pay any money just for a point? No. Okay. This man all trembling. Now, if you see that is alliteration, letter T is repeated. Why was he trembling? He was just excited and fearful at the same time. Yes, so he was excited and happy, and also fearful as to what would happen when he took that plate of gold. Okay, next line also fingers first touch. So again F is repeated. So alliteration. Next line all stood aghast. All stood aghast, but when the hapless claimant dropped its clanging on the floor, heaven's garden was again transformed to shining gold. So all stood aghast means absolutely shocked. Alliteration letter A is repeated. But when the hapless claimant dropped, dropt is again an archaic word for dropped, dropped. Now letter C is repeated over here. Claimant and clanging. Clanging is a sound, so onomatopoeia. Clanging is sound, so onomatopoeia. Heaven's garden is a gift over here, was again transformed to shining gold. So what happened over here? As soon as he dropped it from his hand, it became into gold again. So what did this indicate? That God was not accepting this person as a man being worthy of receiving the plate of gold. So for another 12 months sat he priest and judged. Thrice they awarded, thrice did heaven refuse the gift. Now here letter T is repeated in thrice and thrice. Okay, the alliteration. Meanwhile, a host of poor maimed beggars in the street. Host means a number of, or you can say almost countless, lots in number. Maimed means handicapped. Maybe uh, some they have no hands. Maybe they are paralyzed. Maybe they cannot see. Okay, lay all about the temple gate in hope to move that love whereby each claimant hoped to win the gift. So they were hoping that all of these people who were coming to claim this gift, to win this gift, would give them money so that their chances of winning this gift would increase. So the last line, letter W, is repeated whereby and win. So again, alliteration. And well for them it was, if gold be charity. So for them, those who thought that way, it was good because that's what they wanted, gold. For every pilgrim to the temple gate praised God. So everyone who came to the temple gate, what did they do? They came praising God. So letter P is repeated, pilgrim and praised. That love might thus approve itself the test. So here again, thus and test. Letter P is repeated. So they came praising God, telling God that we love you and we love you. So that's why we are doing this charity. And so approve our actions of charity. And so coins rained freely. See why they're comparing to the falling of the coins to the falling of the rain here? Because they're saying the coins were given as if raindrops were falling, so many in number, okay, in the outstretched hands. But none of those who gave so much as turned to look into the poor eyes of them that begged. So what they're saying, they just threw the coins, gave the coins, and went ahead. Not bothered to look at the people, to bother to see how much pain is there, yeah, how much they're suffering. They did not bother about that. They were really not bothered about the people. They were bothered about them getting the gift of gold. So now the second last line, letter T, is repeated for poetic effects, alliteration. Okay, the last line, the poor sad eyes. Are the eyes sad or the people sad? So here it is synecdoche. And yes, because the eyes stand for the whole, the part stands for the whole. That is, you're talking, the whole person is sad, not just the eyes. You mean to say eyes are sad and person is happy? No. It is the person who is sad, not the eyes that are sad. So it is synecdoche. A part stands for the whole. Also, it is a transferred epithet because they are sad, THEM, them. They are sad, not the eyes. Okay, so now we will. I'm ending this because the poem is quite long. The rest of it will be done in the second part. How much ever I've taught you, I want you to write the figures of speech, write the whole poem, and then write the figures of speech of the part that I have taught. Okay, thank you and you have a good day.